Before we get into this video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Over 70% of people that watch my videos in the last 2 months are not subscribed. We're getting so close to 420, which I love. Anyway, on with the video. Please consider subscribing. I upload every day, and I know a lot of people that watch aren't subscribed, and I know also a lot of people get unsubscribed. Consider it. Consider it. All right, on with the video. Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Okay, we're going to continue on with the Dramageddon 1 series. But I do want to say something before that. I was hoping to post a video on I'm Alex before this video. However, I'm having a couple issues with YouTube in the video, considering how heavy the topic is. So once that gets, it's sitting on my YouTube channel waiting to get approved to be uploaded. Once that is, that'll be posted. That was my priority. I'm sending all my love, by the way, to everyone involved. And also, I'm Alex can absolutely go himself. But anyways, just know that that is coming, and that was a priority for me to cover. And so it'll be hopefully up within the next few hours or tomorrow. Anyways, we are going to continue on with the Dramageddon 1 series. And now, this is where it gets really interesting, because this is when Jeffree did the racism video. You know the racism video where in the thumbnail he's like this? Serving face. You know, anytime Jeffree Star does a video where he gets called out or he does an apology video, he has to do like a thumbnail like damn man, it's not like what the how are you in a video apologizing for being racist, and in the thumbnail you're making sure that you've like your good side, and you're like, it's so weird. Anyways, we are going to get to this video. This video is also very significant because this was when the tide started to turn against the Friends even more, and Jeffree really did capture the YouTube community with this, and this was a very, for Jeffree standards, one of his better received videos. And the reason for that was because this was around the time when he was doing, you know, the first series with Shane. And so he was kind of he was getting this grace in the media because of the Shane Dawson first series on him. And also his friends that had made the video, camera, back here, his friends that had done the post that was, you know, bitch is bitter because without him we're better. At this stage, all of their old problematic content, including a lot of racist stuff on all their behalfs, were coming up. And so Jeffree addressed his racist content and past online, and he really did it like first out of all of them, which it shouldn't be like this, but in the grand scheme of things to the public made him come out better because he addressed the fact that he was racist first. And, you know, like, Gabriel, Manny, Laura, and stuff, specifically Gabriel, was like, imagine being friends with a racist, or imagine standing a racist, like, I would never. So Jeffree came out and addressed it, and then all of their stuff came out. So Jeffree was already, like, 2 steps ahead of them. And the thing that always bothered me about this was, it was like a game, you know what I mean? It was like a game on who could be forgiven for being the most racist. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fucked up. Anyways, we're going to get to this video. I have not watched this in a very long time. And this was really one of the big turning points in Dramageddon 1, where the public started to side with Jeffree more, which is interesting because the comments are off in this video. All right, let's do it. I also want to remind you of my P.O. box. I'm sending signed art cards to every single person that sends something to the P.O. box. Also, we have our Muckers Finsta, which is a private little account. If you go over, click the link request, I will accept you on. It's really fun. I post over there so much, and you get classics like this. All right, well, I'll talk about it. Anyway, let's get to this racism in all capitals by Jeffree Star, the 20th of June, 2017, 300,000 likes, but the comments are turned off, which is a cop-out. I owe it to all you to be brutally honest about my past, and I'm here today to discuss old videos of me that have been resurfacing. I want to clear the air about drama, rumors, and being accused of being racist. I love and respect all of you for allowing me to be honest and real with you. Well, I don't think we're allowed to be honest and real back with him because the comments are fucking turned off. Because I may not always be understood, but you get me. My message has always been about self-expression and loving yourself. I'm learning that, but it's been a long journey. With having such a huge social media platform, I've decided to start being 100% open and talk about serious topics and my mistakes. All right, let's get to it.
What's up, everybody? Today, I wanted to sit here and turn on the camera and talk to you guys about some really serious subjects, some issues that I have been dealing with for a long time, and just have a one-on-one with you guys. This video is something that I feel
All right, we are 17 seconds in and we have a second camera angle. Was this necessary? Was a full production necessary? Was the thumbnail necessary? Is multiple camera angles like we're in a fucking documentary necessary? Oh, there's something about Jeffree. Again, this like, I guess there's nothing he can really control, but just the way he speaks, everything sounds so insincere and so like PR-ified, which I guess it is.
I feel like I owe to my entire audience. Through the last 10 years, I have lived my life on social media, which is really crazy to think about. It's been a really...
Sorry, the fucking camera angles are so unnecessary. You're having a real conversation one-on-one, so why is there multiple cameramen? I thought it was just me and you.
Journey from...
Not everything needs a production.
On a little website to my career now. And as I sit here, I realize that I have a bigger platform sometimes than I realize myself. And there are millions of people out there that watch me, that know about my life, that follow my story. And I feel like it's time that I get out a little bit more of my story. And this video is mainly about something that is a really fucked up subject that I've had to deal with for a long time, and it concerns old videos that were filmed of me 12 years ago. Now, I want to go on the record and say that I know there's a lot of people out there that love and support me. There are millions of you that watch my videos that...
Why are we starting? Why did he just say from videos of me basically being racist 12 years ago? And then before addressing it even further, he goes in, I know there are so many of you, millions actually, that love and adore me. Like, I assume he's going to be like, but there's people that are disappointed in me. Why do you have to be like, yeah, I have all this racist content? Okay, moving alongside that, just 1 second. I know that there are millions of you that absolutely adore me. It's a really weird start, like a really weird start to this video. Also, content creators do this often where they will hone in on how long ago the content is. But I think whenever you built your platform off of that type of content, I think specifying how long ago it was is irrelevant because you have what you have right now because you acted that way. So for Jeffree, he got his big up on MySpace because he was really problematic, and a lot of that involved racism. And in the day-to-day public sphere, Jeffree built a reputation off of being racist. And the same with like Shane, like he built a community off of people that enjoyed watching racist humor. And so, in my opinion, people may disagree with me. I think that's less of like, oh, I tweeted something 12 years ago. It's like you built your brand off of this. So if anything, it's like, why have you not addressed it in the 12 years? You know what I mean? I think that's actually doesn't help your case.
That are out there and that support me. But there's also other people out there that do not like me. And that's okay. If you do not like what I'm about, if you hate me, if you despise me, if you're not into what I'm about, you do not need to watch this. But I would really appreciate if you could listen to my story and what I have to say with an open mind. And I think from human being to human being, fuck YouTube, fuck all the bullshit, fuck the makeup, everything that we are so consumed with, past all the fun tutorials, past everything. I want to speak to you as a human being that breathes on this earth with you. And
I'm like looking around, I'm like, who are you talking to? Because this is so weird. Like, human being who breathes. I breathe, so we're connected. This is a lot weirder than I remember.
Lately, not lately, for the last few years, as I have joined the YouTube community, I have been definitely subjected to a lot of drama, and I get it. You know, I am a hot topic. I have always been outspoken. I am, you know, someone that looks different, and I realize that with all of that is going to come the negative. Obviously, the positive is so unreal, but the negative can be very, very dark and ugly. And
this video is about you being racist. Why are you, like, victimizing yourself in the first 2 minutes? And reminding us that we also breathe air. In case you didn't know. This is, like, he keeps honing in on, I want to tell you my story. I want to tell you my story. Like, this video is called Racism. So far, all I can tell is that being racist is a part of your journey. Like, you know what I mean?
Every time that I get into an online, conflict or confrontation or some crazy feud, whether it's with my ex-best friend or a celebrity or other YouTubers, a lot of stuff from my past constantly gets dragged up. It's been happening for years. In these videos, I say some really disgusting.
So if the content, this is the same with all these content creators, they'd be like, anytime, like every couple years, this content will resurface. So you're acknowledging that you've had countless opportunities to address this. So what was the nail in the coffin now? You know what I mean?
Vile, nasty, and embarrassing things. And you know what's fucked up? The past can never be erased. It is always going to be there. And my past has been recorded, it's been videoed, it has been exploited all over the internet, and I'm sitting here and those videos were 12 years ago, and I look at them and I see them resurface, and it just makes me sick to my stomach because I don't know who that person was. I know who I am today. I know exactly the person I am today, but I do not know who that person was. The person that said those horrible, vile...
The person that built up this entire career that you have right now by doing those things. And I will say this to every single content creator that will use that as an excuse. I don't recognize that person. Who is that? That is not me. That is the person that built you that audience. That is the person that built you that brand. That is the person that, because that's how you were. And what you're sitting filming this video on right now, that channel, you built an audience that enjoyed that type of stuff. So I don't know who that person is. I don't know, scroll down a couple years on your YouTube channel and you'll be reminded of them. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
Things. That person was depressed. That person was just angry at the world. That person felt like they were...
Not every depressed person is racist, by the way. Not every angry person is racist. So I don't really know what we're getting at here.
We're not accepted. That person was seeking attention. I was someone that loved...
Again, there are a lot of attention seekers in this world. Not all of them are racist.
Seek attention when I was younger. I loved the shock value. I loved fighting anger with anger, and I didn't know any better. And does that make it okay? Absolutely not. I want to look everyone in the eyes and let you know that everything that you have seen is so just wrong. It's upsetting.
I want to look you in the eyes, and he hasn't looked at, not eyes, but the camera once. He goes, I want to look you in the eyes when I say this. Like,
setting, it's nasty. It really makes me sick to my stomach to watch those old videos because what I was saying is not what I represent. I think that racism is a very serious subject, especially...
And I'm so glad that you're acknowledging that 4 minutes into this video called racism. So far, we've gathered, we breathe air. I actually don't know what else we gathered. Oh, he has millions of people that love him.
Especially in today's world. I'm embarrassed as a person because that is not what I've ever stood for. I am all about self-expression, self-worth, self-love, and I think it's awful that you guys have to see me in that light because I don't ever want that to take away the message that I have always been about. So,
but again, you could argue that the message you've always been about is what was your come up on social media when you gained your following and when you gained your followers when you were making that kind of stuff. Often.
I want to sit here, and I have talked about this before on MySpace back in the day. I have addressed this on Snapchat. I have talked about this on Twitter in the past, but that is not good enough. Because for everyone out there that supports me, that believes in me, I owe you the truth, and I owe you an apology. I am so sorry for my words. I am so sorry for everything that I've said in my past. I can never turn back time and take those moments away. They happened, I have owned up with them, and I have lived with it for a long time. And every time that they get re-dragged up, it just makes me just sad because I don't know who that person was.
It's really interesting. First of all, the apology comes 5 minutes into the video. And number two, I don't know if anyone caught that. By the way, people will always be like, oh, nothing's ever good enough for you people, about commentary and drama channels, right? Which I completely also can see that point of view. But the thing is, I would love to sit here and watch this video and be like, wow, I actually think, like, he's being really sincere. I this is not an apology for me to accept, so I hope the people that this is dedicated to accept it. However, I'm sitting here and he's basically saying, like, I'm so sorry to those that are offended. And I'm also really sad for myself because you may have to hear me say this, but every few years, I have to rewatch myself do this. And I don't know who that person, like, you're not the victim in this. You know what I mean? You can say you were sad, you were angry, you're depressed, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you can't say an apology that wasn't actually that great because it was very, very, very broad. And then the next sentence is basically, well, how do you think I feel? Okay.
I think it's really important to share that growing up, I've always been a guy in makeup. I started wearing makeup in 10th grade, and the world was not how it is today. 10 years ago, there were no guys in makeup on YouTube. There was no men in makeup parading the streets. There was no people like me, and I was very alone, and I was also fearless. I did not care that the world was not accepting me. I knew that I loved makeup. I know why I was attracted to makeup. I come from a family of chaos, alcoholism, and abuse. And when I discovered makeup, that was my happy place. I got to go play in makeup for hours and escape the horrible reality that was my life and my shitty fucking parents and my crazy upbringing. And
Oh my God. You do understand what I'm saying, right? Like it's quite crazy to, like, this is your chance to apologize for the endless, racist things that you should be apologizing for and addressing. And it's crazy that, like, we're just in for, like, an Audible reading on your autobiography. You can apologize sincerely for doing something without making excuses or having to dilute the message by talking about your upbringing. Yeah, you were a boy in makeup, and yeah, you got bullied. There's a lot of other people in makeup that were boys back then, and because they got bullied doesn't mean they turned to racism. There's a lot of people that are bullied today. They don't turn to racism. Like, this is irrelevant. Like, yeah, it's your channel. Yeah, tell your story. Yeah, whatever. But I just think, like, I'm actually just surprised that this video was so well received. I think maybe just because he was one of the first to, like, acknowledge it. But it is crazy how, like, this entire video is just... Okay, here's why I was racist. We don't want to know that. Like, we don't want the reason you were racist. We just want to hear the acknowledgement and apology. And 15 minutes of whatever this is, we haven't even gotten a good apology yet.
And
sure, it gets better.
10 years ago, when I left the house, I wish it was like today. I think that people don't realize how it really was.
Like, why is this a story about, like, why he's been done so wrong?
And I would leave the house and people would spit on me. They would scream faggot at me. They would scream freak. And they would degrade me every single day. And what did I do? I fought back with rage. And looking back...
Rage, racism, This is just justifying racism. You retaliating from people harassing you. There's a lot of things you can say to people, or there's a lot of things you can do that doesn't immediately go to racism. Saying racial slurs, just being racist. Like, I'm intrigued that this was received so well. Well, I mean, the comments are off, so we don't know.
I'm 31 years old now, and looking back at that person who had just graduated high school, who had turned 18, turned 19, and then was just out into the world, I was emotionally abused every time that I left the house. People did not accept me. I would be walking down the street and people would scream.
So basically, I think he's making the argument now that he was very marginalized, which is a crazy thing to do in a video, which is called racism. You as a white privileged man being like, I couldn't even leave the house. I couldn't even leave the house. Well, here's the thing, Jeffree. You chose to put the makeup on, right? And you got bullied because of that? You got harassed because of that? I'm not blaming you here, but let me make a point. When you would be racist, that's just a black person, a person of color existing. But somehow you're the one that's more marginalized? You're making the point, he's making the point here that when he would leave the house and wear makeup, he would get made fun of because of it, because people weren't ready for it. So are you making the point that you were such a small minority or such a, a marginalized group? Whereas this video is called racism, and creators like him that have been racist in the past are using words that are actually put against people. And it's like, it just really fucking bothers me so much. Like, this, like, woe me, like, oh, camera. This, like, woe me, like, I need to be the one that was done worst. Fuck off. Fuck off. Like, it's so... It just really, it really does bother me. It, like, really, really, really does bother me.
Shit at their car every single day. I felt like a piece of shit. So what did I do? I fought back with anger. I fought back with rage, and it's wrong. I want to set an example for the youth and the future in front of me. And I want to go on record and let you know that that is not okay. Just because someone insults you, it is not okay to fight back. But sometimes that's how we handle things. We're human beings. And I think that at the end of the day, people forget, past the money, the cars, the...
Isn't it crazy how little he's actually addressing racism here? He goes, sometimes we fight back with rage. Sometimes me and you who breathe the same air, like, it's just beyond vague.
Clothes. I am just one tiny little person on this earth trying to make a better life for me and my family, and I am nowhere near perfect. I am literally the furthest thing from perfect. I make mistakes every day, but I've learned from them. And the intent behind my words back then, it was not about race. Racism does not live inside of me. I don't even know what the fuck, like, I don't know how that exists into people. I said really horrible, vicious things back to people to hurt them, to harm them, to shock them, and to let them know that you're gonna call me something, I'm gonna cut you back so hard and make you feel like a piece of shit because you made me feel low. And that is not okay. It is not okay to fight words with words like that. And I have been subject to a lot of stuff recently. The last 2 years has been so difficult.
Oh my God, now we're going... So he was on a good track. Finally starting to talk about racism 8 minutes into this 15-minute long video, and has now brought it back to how he's had a hard 2 years.
Also been such a blessing. I've never had this much success in my career, and all of you out there that have supported me, like, I will never be able to thank you enough.
Oh my God, now he's back to talking about how successful he is.
For the gift you have given me. But I also think that it's really important to share things and let you know that I'm not perfect. I'm wrong all the time. And even recently when people were saying some fucked up shit to me or trying to, get a reaction, I do give in. I am weak. I'm selfish. I have anger problems sometimes. I lash out when people lash out at me. Still to this day, when someone wants to try me or start something.
So you're saying basically that nothing has changed. You just said that you would use these racial, slurs as a retaliation when people would lash out at you and you would lash out back at them, right? And then you've just said, well, I still lash out at people to this day if they lash out at me. Your vagueness has just implied that you still do the same thing.
I'm the first one that's like, what, bitch? You want to try me? Let's go. I've called people stupid. I've called people rats. I've called people annoying. I've called people every name in the book when they attack.
This is a really weird, he's just kind of confirmed that he still does the same thing.
Me back because it's hard not to react sometimes. And I think that people forget, maybe once in a while the average person will hear an insult, but when you are online, the bullying and the extreme hate that can come your way, it is.
How is this video titled racism? It's literally just a woe me video about him, the privileged white man.
Really hard to deal with. It is hard to log on, and every day there are people saying you're great, and then there's people telling you you're an AIDS-infested faggot and you look like a fucking horse and you should kill yourself. Those are things that I have to read every day and mentally process them as, okay, this is how someone feels about me.
How is this video titled racism?
Lose sleep every night worrying about it? No, I can't, but I need to learn to just process it and get out my anger some other way and not even respond to people. And let's go back to 12 years ago, because so many people have heard rumors or they've seen a clip and they don't see the full spectrum. And I am so sorry that any of you ever had to see me like that. It makes me want to just, I don't know, it makes me want to erase myself sometimes. I look at that and I'm just like, I can't believe I used to be that miserable and that unhappy. So I want to let you guys know that I am so sorry for ever saying those things. That does not represent anything how I feel. That is not who I am. And I apologize deep down to the core of my fucking being. And that person does not exist anymore. I'm all about trying to bring awareness to self-expression and love, and I want all of you guys to learn from my mistakes. If you take one thing away from this video, please do not make the same mistakes that I did. And I also want to say that I know that there are millions of people out there. There are people watching this right now that are judged by what they believe in, by who they are, by how they look, by the color of their skin.
Yeah, by you.
I am just one in a million that has to deal with these type of prejudices every single day. So I don't want you to see an old video of me and be like, wow, Jeffree says this, but he's really about this. And
he just said, because I'm one of those people that people say things and have prejudice about.
It's embarrassing because I don't want it to tarnish what I stand for right now. And we have come a long way with human rights. We have. I mean, in the last 10 years, you guys, it is crazy how life used to be and how it is now. But there are still there's just so much growth to happen. This world is still so dark and miserable, and there are so many crazy things happening that I don't know if everyone fully realizes what it is to be different. Life is too short, you guys. I cannot spend every day thinking about my past. I have moved forward. I know what I stand for now, and I want to be a better person. I want to be a better person from the person I was last week. I want to learn and grow, and I think that
it's crazy how vague this is. Just how vague it is. I guess when the amount of stuff that Jeffree Star has done is on the internet, you might have to be vague. But
is what's most important for all of us. I don't want to deal with anger and rage and drama anymore. I just feel like it's just so unhealthy and it eats away at you.
Edit, he would do it again.
With a makeup brand, or it's with an ex-friend, or it's with this. I'm just tired of feeding into it, and I am a victim of that, you guys.
How many times has Jeffree made a video, never doing this again, racism, doing what's right, where he's like, I'm done. Never involved in it again. Never involved in it again. And we're like, all right, we'll see you again in a couple weeks.
I know I have perpetuated stuff. I have fueled fires, and it's just wrong. And I don't want to continue that behavior. I should be setting an example, and I have been completely doing the opposite over the last few years, and all of this is just, I think it's come to a point where this video is necessary, not just about me, but I want everyone to learn from me and my wrongs. When you're being attacked or someone is bullying you or hurting you, it's okay to defend yourself. It's okay to respond, but be careful of how you respond. Because
Yeah, Jeffrey, when we're being bullied, the day-to-day person, our minds don't immediately go to racial slurs. Just being honest with you, babe.
how I handled things was not okay, and you never know how it is going to affect another person. And I know so many of you deal with this shit on the daily basis, but remember, what you say to the next stranger could affect them in ways that you do not know. You just gotta stay strong and realize that hurting someone else back is never gonna satisfy you. I had an empty void all through my early 20s. I didn't know who I was. I was always angry. I never, I never felt really accepted, and I was always alone. And if you have those feelings, that's okay. You will overcome them, but it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of self-analyzation, and you have to want to change, and you have to want to grow. I know what I need to work on, and fighting with people online and all this bullshit is so unhealthy, and it's something.
So is this video about your ex-friends, or is it about the racism? What is it? Because this video reads as, you don't want to be involved in drama, rather than, let's address the racism. Even though the title of it is racism in all capitals, and a full stop.
Something that I'm going to completely stop. I get people that try to get a reaction from me all the time, whether they make a video about me, whether they talk about my relationship, whether they degrade how I look. It's hard to process sometimes and deal with, and I'm not going to feed into it anymore. I am not going to feed the fire of hate with hate. I just think it has to stop. I don't know what it is. Over the last 3 years, I just feel like I'm on a whole nother level of real happiness. I never let myself experience happiness in my early 20s. Happiness was something that was foreign to me. And I don't know whether it's from being in love or being in a relationship or actually achieving all my goals that I ever wanted when I was little, but I have never been this happy, and I don't want other people and outsiders to affect my happiness.
Okay, I guess this video is just about Manny, Laura, and Gabriel then. I guess this really wasn't about racism, because he's now just making indirect comments about old friends.
Stop letting them. So this is my story. This is what I've been wanting to say to you guys for a long time.
Why was this video titled racism? Genuine question. Why was it titled racism? It should just title it My Fucking Life Story or something like that.
If you are still listening, thank you for listening. It means something to me that I don't know how to explain. I don't want to sit here and try to, thank you guys so much. No, but thank you just for listening and hearing me out, because you don't have to. You can judge me and say, fuck him forever, and that's okay. You're allowed to have whatever thoughts you want. But if you are listening to this, thank you.
I don't have many after this video. I'm going to be honest, Jeffrey. You really didn't give us much. Okay, wow. Well, clearly I know now why the comments are turned off. Is there any way for me to see how many dislikes this video has? YouTube dislike extension. Oh, I can download that. Hold on. Give me a moment. Add to Chrome. Add extension. Okay, it's now been added. Okay, this should work. How many dislikes does it have? 45,000 dislikes is a really, really, really... And keep in mind, dislikes were on at this time. This video was very, very well received. Huh. Interesting. I mean, it's a good life story video, but racism addressing... I don't know. Don't think so. Huh. It just seemed more of wanting to jump ahead of Manny, Laura, and Gabriel and get a video out first. And I guess titling it racism was enough. Don't know. All right. I will talk to you in my next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Goodbye.